Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, the chip clip finally gets an evolution. No, it doesn't involve any Bluetooth. A familiar yet a new way of interacting with your phone and learn how to look through your peephole without being there. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find cool projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I am Ktdata, one half of the show, and on the other half, not only is he an excellent teacher, an excellent father, he just launches businesses, and it's like no biggie for him. The one and only deal. Drew Tyler. How are you doing today,
No big deal. I've been very busy today. I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on again for the 67th episode.
I can't imagine doing this show without you, Like,
I know, right?
The one day where you get too big and too famous to do this show, I'm going to be like, well, I'm throwing in the towel. There's just not anything else I can do anymore.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. I'll never be too big.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's like for this whole week, I've been like, where's Drew? I haven't played video games with him. He hasn't been that chatty in our back channel for the Little Big Cast. I just don't know where he's been. You're just doing great things while I've just been sitting here.
I've been working hard. I've been working hard for my time. Busy.
Yeah, on there. And so I just wanted to show people things because today, both of us got our Frank Better stuff.
Yes.
For which one is it now? He has so many.
I think the fifth one.
Yeah, for his fifth one. So we got that, and I also got our Geek of the Week cards from Len Peralta for Season 5. I have my Season 1 on there, too. And I thought this was cool. This is probably the lamest thing ever, but if you look who's at the top of that card. If the camera will focus. Yeah, look at that. Middle column, right at the top.
KickCast podcast.
I nice. Like how I take up most of the room on the card too.
Nice. That means you're doing it right, man. That's awesome.
I stick out on there, but these look awesome. Len, you probably don't watch the show, but these look amazingly cool on there, so you can see all those. So go check out Geek a Week, and you can see these really cool trading cards. And there's a podcast that goes with them too, because that's the part of the spiel too. Is if you get made a card, you also get featured on a podcast episode where he interviews you. So it's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
All right, so if you guys are first time watching this show, first of all, welcome. Before we go into our projects of the night, we have some news items to cover on there. And one of the things we like to do sometimes is to give you tips on what to do when you are running a crowdfunding project. And I actually like this, and I think you're a big fan of this too, Drew.
Yes.
So one thing that people tend not to think about is what am I going to do after the project has been funded on there. And so the Indiegogo actually posted up a blog post on what you should do, and it is called Tell Your Story, Product Development Updates. I'm not going to lie, one of my biggest pet peeves is when these projects, they get all this money and stuff, and then they just go silent.
Right, that's so hard.
Silent on there. And what this article kind of breaks down is giving you ideas on what you can do to keep your fans updated. And they also mention this. I like this. The community wants to hear about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I know a lot of projects tend to only want to talk about the good, but I think it brings a more human side out of projects if you do start talking about
it does.
Your setbacks and things.
If you think about it, a lot of businesses that now are kind of trending towards this crowdfunding idea, they have this PR mindset where somebody's trying to control the image and the brand, and so again, only the good. We can only tell them all these great successes and have these great spins and angles. But I think that's the beauty of crowdfunding and the stuff that we cover. We're backing it because we want you to be successful, but we want to also hear about the struggles and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is great.
On there, and it's one of the most important things is I think people forget is the way you document it. Don't just write text down. People like seeing videos, pictures, just little personal touches like that. So give them a little bit of eye candy. It could just be a screenshot of a CAD drawing, or if you get your first production model and you find something wrong with it, it's like, oh, there's a crack right here. We got to make sure they fix that in the run. Just take a quick snapshot of that and post that up and say, hey, here's our production. What we're doing. Give you an idea. We're still working on it, and we didn't just run off with your money.
Right. Well, something that's been doing this really well lately is Pebble Time, because they've done a fantastic job of just almost, it's been just the right amount. Like it's not quite weekly, but it's enough that every 10 days or so I get an update that just says, hey, we just have this new app, and here's a highlight of somebody that's used our API to make an app for the upcoming Pebble, and we're still on track for shipping for this. And it's perfect little updates that keep us going, and they're not all glowy and beautiful like, hey, we're gonna change the world, it's the next big thing. Every little update is just like a snapshot of what's going on. Love it.
On there. And speaking of Pebble time, Business Insider decided to do an article on the most successful Kickstarter projects of all time, and they kind of went back to see where some of these projects are. So I thought it would be fun to kind of go back and look at this because we've talked about some of these.
We have talked about many of these,
and you've probably heard about many of these, like Reading Rainbow. They raised $5 million on there, and right now, so if you go today, there's a Reading Rainbow app now, and it comes with a subscription package, $50 a year or $10 a month. You can actually get access to a library of children's books, and the way they describe it is kind of like a Netflix.
Oh, it totally is. I got it for my kids. We paid the $50 for, I think it was for a year. We might have done 6 months, $30 for 6 months or something. But it's exactly like that. You have a backpack, and you can check out books to your backpack, but you can scroll through hundreds of books. Click on the 5 or so that you want. They come to, basically that's what downloads to your machine, and then it'll read to you, or you can read it and swipe pages. And they put in these cute little animations, and so on all these like classic kids books that you would read in the library, they have little sparkles in certain places on the page. My girls would love to just listen to the story and then find all the sparkles that they could tap, and different parts of the page would, like dogs would dance or whatever that story was, would just animate just a little bit. But great reading, fantastic stories. It was the perfect port of the Reading Rainbow show to an app. So very well done.
That's awesome on there. Some of the other projects, the Veronica Mars project, everybody remembered when that came back.
It's like 5 million, more than 5 million.
Raised almost 6 million.
Yeah,
on there. And it ended up premiering, made $3 million gross on there. And then it went fairly smoothly, except for the digital distribution. That kind of tipped people off. They ran into some issues on how they were going to distribute it, but I think everybody else, or in the end, everybody got a copy of it, or they got their money back on there. So
this is interesting. They actually wrote this as like, grossed 3.5 million worldwide, none of which made it back to Kickstarter backers. It should be noted, and I'm thinking, what does that matter?
It shouldn't, because keep in mind the movie studio, was it Warner Brothers? I think they foot a majority of the bill too. The reason, I think they forget the whole reason of having the Veronica Mars Kickstarter was to prove to Warner Brothers, saying, hey, there is an audience out there.
There's an audience.
And they want a movie. So when the Kickstarter was successful, Warner Brothers was like, all right, you do have an audience. We'll help foot the rest of the bill, because making a movie like that ain't cheap.
Right. And I just find it funny that they would actually put that in their article, none of which made it back. It's not supposed to make it back. It's not an investment. We're here to anyway.
Yeah, we're here to support an idea.
We've talked about that enough.
And then this is another big one. Neil Young's Pono music player.
Oh yeah, we did talk about Pono, didn't we?
I was a skeptical person on that, and apparently I was right, because they raised $6 million on there, but it really didn't catch on. People, I've seen a Pono player in real life, but it was at CES, so it's really not real life, because CES is its own different world.
Right. It's not real life.
I've never seen anybody use one in public on there, and I like how Ars Technica referred to this: a tall, refreshing drink of snake oil. Like, I thought it was a great idea that they brought up, higher music fidelity that people don't know about. But I was like, there are enough FLAC players out there already where this was not really something that got me. But hey, Neil Young, you got a name for it. Another one that I was actually skeptical about, or was this the one I was skeptical about? No, I was skeptical about Oculus. I think I was excited about the Ouya.
Because it was one of the early ones. I think the Ouya was way beginning. Like, this is 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, the show's been almost 3 years ago. Well, so they raised about $8.5 million on there. But when it got delivered, people were disappointed, and now, unfortunately, there are actually rumors that they're in financial trouble and they're looking for somebody to buy them. On there. But it seemed like a good idea from the beginning, but I just, I was like, maybe not on there. Okay, so how about on to a little bit more stories that are a little bit more
recent. This was recent
on there.
Yeah.
So Exploding Kittens almost raised $9 million on there.
For a card game?
Yes, for a card game.
Wow.
What's his name? Oatmeal guy, Matthew Inman. He
Mhm.
actually said the game's fully play tested and it's almost ready to ship out to backers in July. So they'll be getting it soon on there.
And they just barely funded that like two months ago, so it's like they're right on target.
Yeah, they're right on target, and hopefully it's going to be a fun game, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. Because
did you back it?
No, I did not.
Oh, we'll have to find somebody with it and play some
on there. And of course, our favorite, which is the third most backed project, Pebble smartwatch, $10.2 million. It's on my wrist. Need I say more?
Yep. Beautiful. Got mine.
And then we also have the coolest cooler right now for $13 million. Some of the earlier versions have been sent out. Final version is still being tweaked again in July. July seems to be a good month to ship these things out.
This is amazing though. Just as a story of Kickstarter, this one came and went, and it was kind of like, that's cool. Whoa.
Yeah, we covered it when it didn't succeed,
and it didn't succeed, and then it came back, and I don't know, marketing behind it, just the idea, something about it just viralated. It viralated that thing and pushed 13 million.
Yeah, amazing. And speaking of our first news story, it did exactly what we're telling. They're posting updates. People know where the project is at. They're keeping them updated on there. And then last but not least, again, because Pebble had to outdo itself, at $20 million. $20 million on there. The Pebble Time smartwatch they're getting soon shipped in May. I've gotten my email saying that make sure you lock down your orders because we're shipping them soon. So
shipping is coming.
I will be getting a black and white one pretty soon, and I'll probably be replacing this with a Pebble Time.
I was just gonna. My 8-year-old was begging for my original Pebble, but I'll find a good home for it. But yeah, I've got a black Time coming as well.
Fancy on there. So those are kind of our quick news on there. I always like taking a look back once in a while because sometimes we talk about these projects and never go back to see what happens to them. So it's great. So speaking of kind of projects that are interesting on there, I don't know if you have this problem or not, Drew. One of my favorite snacks to have are potato chips.
I do love a good potato chip
on there, but it never makes sense to get a potato chip that just one of those like mini single serving size bags. I'm like, that's not enough potato chips for me on there. But you get the family size, and I shop at Costco, so the family size is
giant size,
can feed a small village.
It's a horse food bag
on there.
Feed bag.
Yeah, I can't eat all of that in one sitting, so I always have this problem where I gotta get a chip clip or something to kind of wrap it up, and logistically it kind of becomes a problem on there. So the Bag Hero tries to solve this by evolving the chip clip to the newest version. So what it does is
they added Bluetooth to the chip clip.
Yeah, they added Bluetooth.
They'll tell you how full your bag is.
Yes, always on there. But it's a kind of new system. So most chip clips you clip it at the front. This one you clip it actually at the bottom of the bag instead of the top of the bag on there. And what that does is actually it's sturdy enough to hold the bag of chips up on there, and then when you're done, there's a little retractable cable. You just wrap it over the top of the bag that you have, so you kind of close the bag up, and then you can clip it to the other side of the chip clip, and it holds it closed using tension, so you don't have to worry about
no sticky stuff, no tape ripping.
Yeah, and supposedly it keeps a lot of air out too, so your chips stay fresher. And who doesn't like fresh chips?
Nice
on there. And what's interesting is on one side of the chip of the Bag Hero, there's actually a attachment area where you can put in a salsa or dip bowl into it too, so you can use that as a two-prong thing, so you could serve in the bag with a bowl attached to it on there. So it's all fancy look, and you can,
like the bowl comes with it, right? It's a little like slide on.
Yeah, it's a little slide on bowl, and they're actually planning on making a little accessories and stuff. What I hope they make is a cup holder on there, so you can put a soda or something in there. Think about that.
Yeah, right. Then you have chips and a drink right there next to it. That's brilliant.
Don't have to worry about it. And I really like about this because then I don't have to worry about a separate clip or anything. It's attached to the bag.
Yeah.
On there. And I do like how the retractable cable is, so you don't have to worry about it. Because have you ever had like those weird sized bags where the clip doesn't work too well and it's just hanging
I got
off?
the packet of clips that like are like hair barrettes that like pinch down, and I've got some that are like this big, and then the huge ones that like they got the assortment. But I only can only find these tiny ones, and so I get a giant bag of Lay's, and it's like crunching everything. You pull it all in together, and then just trying to shove this little tiny thing. This
Yeah.
is a good.
Yeah, I like it. And then some of the other things is they've used it to hold up a Scrabble bag. That's genius.
That's awesome.
Just that way you can just reach in. And you're not worrying about grabbing too many pieces and stuff. So, for me, I think this takes you back to the heart of Kickstarter. Is it's a simple solution. There's no Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or anything in it, but
Yet.
yeah. There's I can imagine eventually it evolving and telling me by weight how many chips I have left.
Or even serving size, right? You have eaten one serving size. There's how much salt you have in your diet.
You have eaten enough to feed an entire family in Africa. You should stop.
You should stop. Very helpful.
on there. So, and what is genius about this is a lot of times these are like really early rudimentary ideas that they haven't refined yet. This one's refined, ready to go. They just need money for tooling and for mass production on there, and that's what I like about it. Is that there's not going to be too many design changes later on there, and it's pretty much ready to go. I think he put a video somewhere in the description saying we're ready to go. We just need our help to do mass produce this.
And mass produce, yeah, that seems ideal.
So, is this a backtrack or sack for you, Drew?
For me, this is a back. It's a clean idea, and if I had 2 or 3 of these around the house, I could totally see them getting used. Like, it's a very functional project for me. Yeah, so I'm in.
Yeah, I think I gotta remember to back this right after this. He's aiming for $45,000, which is a little much on there, but
seem high.
I think if you get the right audience, this will sell like hotcakes on there. Okay, so speaking of Bluetooth and kind of items like that,
making things work.
We're going back to the connected and the smart world on there. So, Drew, how about you kick off what our next project is?
Next project number dos for our show tonight is something we call the Phree. The Phree Make the World Your Paper. So company OTM Technologies have been working like over a decade to create basically this kind of 3-dimensional laser positioning something, and they put it into a pen form so that you can write anywhere. It's an unrestricted high-res input device, right? So it's not like a pen or a pencil, it's an input device. So we've learned to kind of use our fingers to navigate our smartphones and touch screens and things like that. But the pen or pencil, right, has got the detail. You can get so much more fine accuracy with drawing. I have always wanted, and probably will continue to always want, a Wacom tablet, something other means of inputting for just drawing lines and doing sketches and that kind of thing. I would love one of those. A little costly and also pretty cumbersome. Like, it's not something I'm going to throw in my backpack and run around. This Phree, Phree, the Phree is a simple kind of pen. Looks like a little pen, almost like a construction pencil. It's a big fat like orange pencil. That's that shape. But the idea here is that you can use this utensil as an input device. So because it has its Bluetooth, you can write on anything. You can write on the dash of your car if you want to take a note while you're at a stop sign or pulled off to the side. You can write on your desktop, your counter, and it will input into your tablet or your phone. So whether that's in an app and it works with several apps, or it will work with several apps, and I'm sure many, many more will come out, but you can virtually write on just about any space, and it's able to, with its lasering and pinpointing, know exactly what you're writing. So there's a lot of cool things that are doing this. So the basic idea here is that it's like a mouse for your phone, but it's a very handy Bluetooth pen shape. You can do notations and notes, and they show examples of writing Chinese characters and drawing out, what are they called? Those what are the
emojis?
Emojis, drawing your own emojis, even drawing out the chemistry.
Oh, the chemical structures.
Chemical structures, right, where the letters and the lines come together. But there's more. There's actually a lot of stuff in here that they've kind of added because they figured, well, we have this Bluetooth connected device. What else could we put onto it? And so they've gotten a little space in the window where you can show short text messages and reply right there with the Phree. So you get a quick message, shows up on your Phree, and all you have to do is tap reply and then write your reply, like hand write your reply, and it'll send that text back to somebody. So there's a lot of these. Do you see the one where the guy's holding it up as a headset?
Oh yeah, this I've
Right?
seen other like styli do this that aren't even close to this functionality, and I've always wanted one like that. I'm like, why isn't anybody else doing this?
How easy is that to be like, I've already got, like, I'm connected to my phone already with the Bluetooth so I can write on things and take notes. And I would much rather handwrite notes. I think I'm faster and I think I could write more shorthand and know what I was talking about. But here, it also, if your phone rings, you just pick up the pen. Hey, let me talk to you. Sketching, drawing, it's like a mouse. There's so much stuff to this. So, I don't know. There's a lot of coolness to this one. I really like the form factor. I really like the look of it. Man, I'm tempted. I'm tempted, even though I have no money. That's how much I like the Phree. The best part is it's free.
Yeah, that is the only negative for me. I was like, I wish it was really free, but okay.
They're doing well, right? They launched today. I believe they honestly launched today.
Yeah, and they're right halfway there. They're already halfway
there.
there. That's great. And then one thing I love about this is the case that it comes with that you have to pay extra for, but the case actually turns into a stand for your phone on there that you could use. And I love it. And it uses magnets to hold everything up too. So it's not like it's going to be flimsy. The one thing that I'm a little worried about is that their delivery time is going to be a year from now. So that means
could be,
there's still things they're working on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that could be a worrisome thing, but it also kind of shows a little bit of like, hey, we know that this is going to take a while. We're not going to promise you something that you know what I mean. Like, they've got a prototype, they've tested it, they're running the campaign, and then they're going to do some redesign and reworking before they build, manufacture, and ship. So it's a little under a year out, but I don't know. In some ways, that seems transparent and like a good idea to be like, all right, we're gonna estimate this and show you our timeline. So while it is a year out, I could wait a year for something like this.
And so I looked in the comments. They said the tip on this is actually pretty tough on there. So I'm wondering if they're planning on being able to like replace tips and stuff, because that's one of the things with the Wacom that people don't realize is that getting used to a Wacom surface sometimes is different on there, because I have a Wacom surface and it's a lot smoother than what you expect from pen and paper on there. And depending on, like, if you get those screen Wacoms, the Cintiqs on there,
right,
they actually sell a plastic surface and tips that you can do that will actually simulate paper a little bit more than what you'd actually do on there. So I would be interested if they kind of had that exchangeable tip. So of course your default one wouldn't have that, but then if if you're an artist and stuff and you really miss that pen and paper feel, you can actually switch those out and do that.
That's pretty cool. I was just reading in some of those comments, and we missed. There's a headphone jack on the back end, like an actual headphone jack on the back end, so
you can turn any of your headphones pretty much into wireless Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, just put that thing in your pocket and you're set. And then the case, I think, actually assists with the charging as well. Not only does it become a stand for your phone, but it actually has a charger.
Yeah, that's what's great about it. And yeah, for me, this is a back.
This is
honestly,
a back.
I'm only disappointed that we didn't find this earlier for the super early bird.
I know they're already out. Like today, it's done.
Yeah,
it's out.
So I might have to go in for the super early bird with case.
So these guys are doing a fantastic idea. I mean, already 26 comments, and a lot of those are the creators of OTM actually responding.
Yes, I love it. They are quick at responding too. Like I think, they just responded an hour ago. There was this comment that wasn't there when I checked this initially, and they've already responded to it. So they're doing a great job. And not one thing is like this also is supported on computers too. So on OS 10, they've actually mentioned that it's OS 10 compatible.
It is
on there, which is great. I love this because what I like, I could have a big screen up and say I need to annotate a PDF or something. I can just pull that out, start whipping it.
Sketch it.
Yeah, because for what I have now is, I have to pull out my Wacom, got to plug it in, make sure the drivers are installed and stuff. It's kind of a pain.
I almost feel like I could use this just in the mouse ability, right? Like this would be more than my trackpad. I could pull up my laptop and just pull this out, and I could play mouse with it, and that would be fine. And then when I flip over to Photoshop or other things, it would just feel so much more natural. So they're up to $148 for that level where you still get the early bird discount, but it's not the early bird, super early bird.
So I'm guessing it's back for you too.
It's back for me. This is brilliant.
All right. So kind of continuing our trend and my trend of, hey, let's add Bluetooth to everything. Our next project, okay, it doesn't add Bluetooth, but it adds Wi-Fi. So it's close on there. So have you ever had this happen, Drew? So I live in the basement on there. So a lot of people come to the front door on there, but I'm usually, in the basement. So I don't hear the front door a lot on there. So somebody's knocking and you'll miss a package or something because you're not there on there. So our next project.
I don't like people to come to my house, so it never happens.
This is why I don't visit Drew in real life, because he'd be like, "Go away!
I don't want you on my door. You get out of here, crack of wood."
On there. So our next project is called the Peeple, and they market it as kind of the caller ID of your front door. So
the Peeple.
What it is actually
Peeple. I see it.
What it is it's actually a device with a camera on it that you can actually stick into your existing peephole, or if you have one of those glass doors that the camera can work without it, you can just stick it on the glass on there, and the camera with the device hooks up to your Wi-Fi connection and actually sends the image over Wi-Fi to your phone. So you could be at home, you could be away from anywhere. Your phone will ding when somebody knocks on the door. There's a motion sensor in there too, so if somebody knocks on the door, it'll ding, say, "Hey, somebody's at your door," and you can actually see who's there, which is great on there. And then so this is where it kind of falls apart a little bit. Is there's not a lot more detail than that. On how it works, but I do like it. And for those people who are wondering, because it's kind of like a solid hockey puck that goes over your peephole.
It looks pretty big.
There's a little mount on it that you can just pull it off, and then if you need to look through the actual peephole, you can see through it from there. And it will log when who comes up, and I like this because they actually got a picture of the DHL guy bringing more sample peeples with their people. On that, and so like I like this, so that way if there's a door-to-door salesman trying to sell you something, you don't go open the door. I really like this idea just because, like I said, I don't hear my front door, people knocking on my front door. So if they don't use the doorbell, and sometimes I won't hear the doorbell either, on there, so that way I can just pull out my phone and say, okay, is it a salesman or somebody I need to go grab the door for? I can just go run up and get it. And I like this idea. They actually were at CES for the TechCrunch device competition on there. They got second place, and they actually pitched this to 50 Cent. I love this. So they made a pretty 50 cent edition, 50 cent. I got to get my street cred right, where it's kind of like gold looking and premium looking. So there's a limited edition one that you can do, and I think you can get custom engraving on it too. So.
Wow. Wow.
Well, you don't want to be like Phree?
No. Wow.
On there.
This looks cool. I think for me, well, maybe it's just I have issues with fisheye ever since I saw The Little Prince when I was a boy. Like I can't handle fisheye lenses. But at the same time, I don't worry so much about my door. Like it's always locked, it's barred, and I, even though I have a people my kids can't reach it, it's just my wife and I. And so if we do get a knock on the door, it's like once every 3 weeks. It's like somebody found us. Hold on, let me check the people. I don't know. For me, it's an interesting idea.
But you could get a tablet so your kids could see who's at the door.
See, I'd almost rather have like a drop cam or something that's a little bit more versatile. So it's just kind of like, it's such a big hockey puck too. It's very large.
On there, I mean, I like this idea. I'm not sure I want to get it.
I understand they're trying to like stick this with like an actual peephole. Yeah. So that's why the camera is, small enough to shoot through I'd almost rather put something on a window nearby or elsewhere. It should be like, oh, I can watch from here.
Yeah, and I can't remember if it's this one, or it might be the Phree, but I'm not sure if they're going to have a API that's going to integrate with more of the smart home stuff. Because we're getting to a point right now where all the smart home stuff, everything has its own app.
You're right. And that gets to be,
I'd want it to be all integrated into kind of some nice dashboard or something.
Wouldn't that would be ideal? And I don't see. I'm searching for APIs on here, and I don't see it specifically. But that would be nice. It's something like that with home security, right? So you have your Nest Protect and some other things that could get triggered if somebody if you needed to, if you could hit a button on your phone and have it send off your alarm or something.
Yeah. What I really wish they had on this was a little bit of more information about the hardware and stuff, because I think they're still early in design, so they don't know what the battery life is. I have no idea what kind of Wi-Fi protocol it's using on there, but I do like the simplicity of it, where you just need to unscrew.
That's true.
And screw it into your Peeple, so it's not like you're using nails or something on there.
It's just really simple and easy.
So
That's true.
for this one, it would be a track for me.
Same
on there, because I like the idea. I don't know how much I would really use it on there.
It looks like they're doing the same year out thing. Like even though we've seen a lot of it, and this has actually popped up in my timeline on Facebook quite a bit. Check out this new Peeple.
So they've probably been doing good advertising on there.
Yeah, they've been pushing it, but they still have a 12-month, like, we're doing this, in 12 months, we'll ship it to you. So it's still a year out. So for me, it's a track. I'll watch it. I'll see what it does, but I'm not, I don't think I'm interested in one for myself.
All right. So that was the Peeple. And now for our sack of the week on this. Okay. So,
there's so many good sacks. We actually had a good list this week.
Oh, I had an amazing list of stuff, and one of them actually was the Archie Comics guys.
Oh, I know. Which I've met those guys. I've interviewed them, and they're nice guys.
They seem to be nice guys, but I don't think they did the research on how Kickstarter works.
Yeah, it's yeah, agreed.
Yeah,
but this one.
So this one on here, I just clicked on it because the image. I was like, oh boy, this is like MS Paint.
Yes, yes, it is
on there. So it is called the Diamond Gang. And Drew, after looking through this project,
TM Diamond Gang TM, it's trademarked.
Do you have any idea what this project is about?
No, no. It has some risks and some challenges.
So what I figured after looking through it, he wants to make a rap album.
Oh.
But this is all he tells you about his project. I'm raising funds for this production of my debut album. I plan to pull it off by getting the material, creating and distributing the product. I have put lots of work into this project, and there's still more work to do, but apparently work in putting what you're actually doing or a sample of your rap music or anything is way beyond you.
Wow. Well, I wish I could see this guy. I'd like to know.
Yeah. No $1 pledge level. The only pledge level you can get is $25.
Back it or no
on there. And I know people are saying, "Hey, KT, you can always not pick a tier on there." Sure. But it like mentally and on a marketing standpoint, you put that $1 pledge level in there always, so people can go.
Good design.
If you look at this, and you don't understand Kickstarter that well, you'll be like, "Well, I only can pledge $25. I don't want to pledge $25."
I know it's certainly a missed. I can never do this without the support of you.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
And then he says merchandising will be available.
Well, then let's put some stuff in here.
But I mean, do you want that kind of art on a T-shirt somewhere?
Yes. Can I please get the DO triangle G? Wow, this is. Wait a minute. Are those his legs down below, or is that something else?
I don't know.
Oh wow! Wow!
Yeah. I mean, so this is one. The reason I picked this one is because this is one of my biggest pet peeves I see on projects like this, especially music projects and film projects. If you don't have a sample of what you can do, you've just like dramatically decreased your chances of anybody backing you whatsoever. Just because you don't have the gear, just because you don't have all this stuff does not stop you from, trying to make at least, a short 30-second clip or something so people have an idea what you're doing. 30 seconds of a song.
I think I just found some of his songs. I think. If you go to the link that's in the page, like the actual number1music.com link, are those his? They go to Montello, that's his name. There's a handful of songs in there,
but it's not on the Kickstarter page.
No, right? No, it's totally. He has them, right? So they should be.
Yeah. So this is like basic.
Here's what I do.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things. Okay, you and I have been on the internet for a long time, but one of the things that is kind of a basic website design thing is people tend not to click through through other links. So you
yeah.
need to have it on your Kickstarter page.
Yeah, put it right in front of me.
I mean, Kickstarter even has tools on the back end where you can just link the music file and they'll have a built-in embedded player that you can hit play on. So there's no reason why you shouldn't do this for those, especially, like I said, film projects and music projects. Those are my biggest pet peeves when I pull up a project and I have no idea what you're capable of. I'm not going to give you money if you can't even make a quick clip.
Yeah, and he's got several, and it sounds like he's using a lot of MIDI and a little bit of reverb.
Yeah, and he wants $50,000.
Maybe he could buy himself an actual instrument. Oh man, this is sad. You know, I feel bad because sometimes we do these sacks of the week, and I have to think it may be.
It's not from malice, but these are good examples on what you should not do.
They just may be special people, but it is good to explore what we should not do. There were some others in your list there that we pulled up for the sack of the week. There were some others that, like the lace gripper. You know, there was a quick project that everybody had. Apparently, they've already had them marketed and put them in stores, and so the Kickstarter is almost like,
and their video was just pretty much showing what they had. Yeah, and it was a vertical video, might I add.
Yes, and it just was like silent, just like in some sort of like storefront or store display, just like look at these, but totally silent.
Yeah, that was bad. And this is just the weirdest combination of it's a cell phone external battery, a grip exerciser, a ultrasonic pest repeller, insect repeller, and flashlight in there, and panic button so it emits a panic SOS sound.
But all this with a hand gripper and a battery too.
Yeah,
that's a little strange.
The hand grip exerciser was the most strange out of all of them.
Yes. Wow, that's really strange, you guys. I love you, but that's strange. $2,000 worth of people, 51 people say it's a great idea today. It may actually happen. I'm going to look at this and say that with 30 days left to go and they're only 20% there, this hand grip battery may
make it. It's just such a bizarre combo that I'm like, what?
Wow. That's crazy. Okay. These are fun. These are absolutely fun. The sacks of the week.
On there.
Oh, and the other one that was really crazy was, you know I love lucid dreaming and I think it's wonderful, but they had a pretty well put together explainer of all the things that they're going to build. But for the reward tiers, and lucid dreaming, they're talking about a kit with a mask and a wrist tracker and an app and a book. But the only reward tier that they had was a $33 ebook.
Yeah, I'm like, where do you get all the other stuff? The other stuff looks cool.
Delivery's like 18 months away. It's like, okay, so you do realize you got to put a little bit more skin in the game before you start asking people to kind of jump on board and help you create this.
Yeah, I mean, in ebook publishing, you don't have to worry about some of the logistics too.
Yeah, it's $33. Give me a couple of choices here if I can get that ebook, and you might see some action. But they're still at $0. Anyway, some good sacks this week, folks.
So, and that's all our projects we have today. So I want to thank everybody for watching on there. I hope you guys enjoy these projects. I have a blast finding them. I have a blast hanging out with you, Drew. And
it is fun.
That's why when I don't talk to you for long periods of time, I like go through withdrawals.
As you should.
On there, and I'm like, on there. And actually, one of the projects I was thinking, it's like it detects your stress levels on there. And I can imagine you just wearing it when a student comes in and it's like, Professor Tyler, why did I only get a 98 on my project instead of 100?
Those are the ones that bug the most too.
Just
like, I'll tell you why. I am the easiest grader in the world. That's why you got a 98. You should have gotten a 90. I'm sorry. Get out of it. Gosh, that would
So on there, I love it. Little Big Cast, amazing show, and
check it out tomorrow at 4:00. We'll be live on twitch.tv/littlebigcast.
And you will be there to make sure you hit the record button.
I will be there this time, and I will make sure there's nothing that's going to get in the way this time.
I just think it's hilarious because I've done that before, but it was like episode 2 of my first podcast I did.
Not episode 52?
Yeah, not episode 52.
Oh, man, yeah. It's going to be good. In fact, tomorrow, I'm getting my PS4 camera soon, so probably tomorrow, so I'll be able to stream Twitch myself.
Fancy.
Sometimes. I mean, it's summertime, right? So I got nothing to do.
Yep. So make sure you guys check that out. Of course, if you have any projects you want us to talk about and stuff, I am actually developing a new way where you can actually submit and vote for projects that you would like to be on the show.
Are you
Coming
now?
soon on there. I'll tell you about this after the show.
It must be summertime for you too. This is exciting.
No, it's not summertime. It's just me getting more ideas.
Great. Slow down.
But of course, you can always email us, kickcast@ktdata.net, or on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast, or on Twitter @kickcast for the show, or @night20, and that is where also he'll be tweeting when he starts live streaming for Drew, and @ktdata for me. And so if you're still on Google Plus, no one's still on Google plus.kickcast.net. And of course, we always want you to watch live. So you can always watch that at live.kickcast.net. And our next show is going to be still in May, right?
Yep. 2 weeks from now, it will be like the 16th or something like
May
that.
26th.
26th.
Yeah,
26th.
May 26th is our next episode. Make sure you come and you will see things on the live stream that you won't get anywhere else.
We have like this pre-show banter. I told a great joke before the show today that you guys all missed, and then the post-show goodness. It's
amazing, and I pumped up my exercise ball, which
that was a treat.
Something you will never see on tape. All right, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Friends are kind of like laughing back and forth and hollering at each other, and it's a good time. And then they stop in the middle of the forest, and of course, after a good run, they feel like they've got to relieve themselves, and so they both pull up on a log together, and they sit down and they go ahead and squeeze off.
Is that how wild animals do it?
They sit on a log,
communal
hang
logs
over the edge. Yep, hang it over the edge, and they both squeeze off a deuce, and then, when they're getting all wrapped up, Bear looks over at Rabbit and goes, "Yeah, Rabbit, do you have any problem with crap sticking to your fur?" Rabbit looks over at Bear and says, "Why no, Bear?" So Bear picks up the rabbit and wipes his bum with him, and off they go.
That is great.
Folks, that's all I've got.
I'm just sad I only got half of that story recorded.